Happy Saturday, Nashville. 4's Company, 102.5, 106.3. The Game. Jake Lyman, Nick Frazier, Connor Newt, Jake Wallman with you from 9 to 11 here on the station. We are brought to you by Patrick Conger and LPL Financial. Financial planning for tomorrow so that you can enjoy today. Broadcasting live from the Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville Studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership with the Buzz is always about great service.
Reading's hard.
I couldn't get the read up, so I was trying to remember it for a second.
You had a long night.
But we got it. Yes, 3 of the 4 of us were involved with the Cats game last night.
All 4. You were there.
Oh, that's
too.
true. Nick Frazier was there a couple of times too.
You were there. You were the fullback.
The microphone is across the room.
Yes.
I was.
I think you made some plays there. Jake Wallman was more the entire officiating.
Well,
crew.
Nashville Cats need a game check. I don't know about anything else.
Me too.
All $30.
Oh man! Wow. Yeah. What a game last night. Too.
Yeah, Cats got the win, 40-32. That was my first time getting to watch arena football live. It was a spectacle. It is cool to watch. I got to talk to Jeff Fisher at halftime, and we kind of talked about how just, you don't know much about arena football when you come into it, but it is fun to watch guys getting checked into the pads on the sidewalls. And, it's so small that you get big plays pretty often. So it was fun.
It was funny at the end of the broadcast. I was listening to probably the last 3 plays, and you and Joe were back and forth like, the AF1 is doing their best not to end this game. It is hard to close out a game.
Right. You can't take a knee.
Wow.
If you go backwards, not only does the clock stop, but it goes back to the time that it was set at before the play. So even if you ran 15 yards backwards and tried to take 5 seconds off the clock, it would go back to whatever time it was before the play. So they really make it hard for you to close out these games.
Or if you run like 15 yards back and then throw a long ball down the field and it's incomplete. Like,
that's fine. But under a minute, the clock does stop. So
what was the funniest part was, I think it was the third quarter, Oregon, who they were playing, went on a 10-minute drive.
Yeah. And they were down and
it's running clock.
They were down like 20 points.
I
was pretty thankful for that.
You guys are running out of time. Yeah, I bet you were. I kind of was too. The game was pretty quick, but it was a good crowd out there, good atmosphere. Cats got the win 40-32. Anyway, let's get to our headlines this morning. Nick Frazier.
Well, I don't want to take anybody's, but I'll just go with the NRL. My Brisbane Broncos.
NRL soccer.
Big, yeah.
You did take mine.
Bummer. They won like 46-28, I believe. I think Reece Walsh did not have a try, which is unfortunate. He's been the golden boy of that team.
What is a try?
A try is like a touchdown. It's American touchdown.
Oh, okay.
But it's 4 points. And then a PAT, you have to kick it from wherever you put the ball down in the end zone. So say if you did it in the corner of the end zone, you have to then perpendicularly scoot the ball 20 yards back and kick it in an angle into the up.
30 minutes, no notes. This guy's got it.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
this guy's got it. Today. This guy's him.
So, 4 points for a try, 2 points for a conversion. So that was that. Baseball's been the big priority of everything.
Yeah,
it's been on my mind this week as I filled in for Jared Stillman for his producer role. I had a lot of extra time in my hands watching MLB. I know the MLB games, MLB Now, MLB Central, all those baseball shows, and there was the big conversation of torpedo bat. So
we'll get into that.
We will
at 9:45 maybe.
So
perfect.
But yeah,
I got an opinion on that.
I was going to say I didn't have that on the grid, so I'm glad you're bringing it up.
We have to.
We got to talk about some Volpedo action.
Yes,
Volpedo.
Yeah, he's got 4 home runs already this season.
It's insane. I think this is a conversation I'm really looking forward to at 9:45.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
Did our boy Ivan Herrera use a torpedo, or is he just him?
I think he's just him.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be surprised if he is using one.
Ivan Herrera had 3 home runs the other day.
Wow.
First Cardinal catcher in club history.
Which is crazy to think who the last catcher was.
Yeah. Yachty.
Yadier.
He only had 2.
Yeah.
Which is kind of crazy. I think it was against Chicago. I don't know why I remember this, but I think it was in Chicago.
And then he homered the next game. He had another one. So he's got 4 in 2 games.
Ivan is feeling it, and I love every bit of it. I love every bit. Honestly, I think the Cardinals are going to start hitting a turn here where they're just going to lose like 4 or 5 games in a row.
Fun start, though.
Because it was a fun start. Undefeated for a good bit of time, but I feel like the pitching depth is going to catch up to them, and it's just going to be the same old.
Their offense has been good, though.
Yeah, I think bringing in the hitting coach from Seattle is going to be a big benefit for St. Louis. But
Newt Barr has been my favorite so far.
He's been a good leadoff.
Stud.
Yeah,
he's stud.
He's Newt Bar.
Newt Bar.
Newt Bar.
Yeah.
That's what they do in I've been playing MLB The Show lately, and I started franchise with Cardinals. Every time Newt Bar comes up to the plate, they go Newt. So I'm gonna try and integrate that into Road to the Show and see if they do it.
Yeah,
I love
they
it.
have like a little audio track or whatever.
Yeah, I'm sure you can find that.
It's probably pretty easy.
They don't have Lyman as name,
but they have
anymore.
Jake.
Yes,
sure.
so I made my character Jake Jones.
Jake Jones.
Because in past years there would be like a Lion or Lidman or something like that I could just go with, but there was nothing close this year. So
no Layman.
No, Jake Jones it is.
Jake
2K will always have Jake Layman because that is an actual person.
That's right.
Yeah,
forget about that.
Maryland and then the Timberwolves for a long time.
Dang.
Yeah, it is.
So yeah, I'll always have Jake Layman in 2K, but yeah, MLB The Show did not have anything close this year. Connor Newt, what's your headline?
I want to talk about Ja Morant.
Ja do?
Ja Morant's been he's been pretty provocative lately. So the other day, he hit a shot and did some finger guns. The NBA warned him, said, please don't do that. And we all know Ja's history with firearms.
Right. I'm sure another person doing finger guns probably wouldn't have been as big of a deal.
I'm not sure of his history. Could you refresh me, please?
Are you being
Sure.
serious?
Are you
No,
serious?
I'm joking.
I mean, I can tell you.
No, it's okay.
For context, Ja one time, I think it was last year, went on Instagram Live, a couple times actually, flashed a firearm.
That's not a good sign.
He supposedly went to self-induced therapy, got mental health. Good for him.
He was suspended twice.
So this time he hits a shot, does finger guns. The NBA puts out a warning, says, hey, don't do that again. It's not good for our audience. There are kids watching. So then he hits a buzzer beater against the Miami Heat, does it again, puts on his story, from what I've seen, him with the shushy face emoji and a gun, and the NBA has fined him $75,000.
Wow.
And now he's acting all victim. Like,
I
didn't do anything.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not taking any sides in this, but it blows my mind that there are athletes out there that go that distance with stuff like that for celebrations and so forth.
And again, if it wasn't Ja Morant, who has already been suspended twice for brandishing weapons on social media, and they literally warned him the night before because he did it on national television.
It's just
stupid. Just stop. Just don't do it.
Stop trying to be someone you're not. Like, we've seen. Well, maybe he is.
I was about to say, I don't know. Like,
but
I think he's hanging around some people that probably should not be in his life. Like,
I mean, he's in Memphis, so let's not act like that's a safe part of town. But
hey, anywhere right now is not safe anymore. I'm just putting that out there.
True.
Even my local donut shop I like going to, not safe.
Good old
anymore.
Bellevue. Crime rates are climbing.
Everything's climbing.
Yeah.
Even babies on stuff where they're, when they get to get like the toddler age, they start climbing on stuff.
Oh,
like puppies
I
and
thought
stuff.
you were
as
saying like toddler gangs or something
No.
like that.
yeah.
Absolutely not. I didn't know that was a thing. Now also
The cribs.
the puppies as well, when they get to that certain size, they start climbing on stuff like cages and so forth.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
All right. I guess this has gone off the rails
The
pretty
Bloods
quick.
and the Cribs.
So we're continuing here on 4's Company. I've lost my train of thought. I really have.
Jake Wallman, what's your headline this morning?
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Before I get to my headline, I know the feeling of having to choose a different last name in the MLB Road to the Show. They don't have Wallman. They do have Walker.
You don't have to worry about it in NHL 25, though.
That's right.
Yeah, you can literally be
Yeah.
Jake Woman.
You and
Yeah.
Parker Kelly.
You and Parker Kelly. You got the same problem.
So my headline goes down to Myrtle Beach this week. I don't know if you guys saw this. Coastal Carolina is offering free concessions
Yeah.
for every
Yeah.
2025 home game with a purchase of a ticket.
Only $50 tickets.
Right.
I don't actually know.
The offer will include ticket purchasing patrons, hot dogs, nachos, popcorn, and fountain drinks at no extra cost.
It's a good idea, and they'll probably just make all that money back by
By
increasing
more
ticket
tickets.
prices.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
So, yeah, there's always another shoe.
So, and obviously this doesn't include alcoholic beverages and, of course, the third-party vendors in the stadium. But, I think this is a pretty good game, or a pretty good idea. You go to a game, maybe you don't always have the money to go to the concession stand, but now you can, as long as you want to brave the line.
Yeah, it's
Judging on Coastal Carolina's normal attendance, I don't think you're gonna have to worry about
Hey,
too much of a line.
Coastal's got some history there.
Don't doubt the Chanticleers, he says.
They were remember the huge game against BYU during the COVID year when they were both undefeated?
I tend to forget the COVID year.
That was Zach Wilson was there at BYU, and then what's his name? He's at Liberty now. Was the head
Grayson
coach.
McCall.
No, the head coach.
Jamie Campbell.
No,
No.
I know who you're talking about. He had interest from Mississippi State. I'm forgetting his name.
I'm blanking on
Not
his
Hugh
name.
He wears the
Freeze.
visor.
No, yeah, he took over for Hugh Freeze.
Yeah.
Give me 1 second. Keep ad-libbing here.
Yeah, I'm blanking on the name.
Jamie Chadwell.
Jamie Chadwell,
we
yes, very close. Yes. Yeah, he was the head coach at Coastal. So Coastal's got some history, and they won the national championship in baseball like 10, 15 years ago.
They're always in the playoff in college football 25.
Yeah, they're one of those teams.
It's always
Those
Like
small,
Army
big
and
teams.
Navy back in NCAA football 14. My headline, wanted to just give a quick shout out. Alex Ovechkin tied Wayne
Yes.
Gretzky last night. 894 career goals.
Isn't that crazy?
I have adopted the Predators more since I've moved here, but I did grow up a Capitals fan. I had an Alex Ovechkin
Tell us
jersey.
something you don't know.
That was my one local team growing up just outside of DC. So I rocked the red when I was younger. I was a big Caps fan. So shout out Alex Ovechkin tying Wayne Gretzky, and probably won't be too long before he breaks that record.
Maybe tomorrow.
Yeah, it could be tomorrow. I know they were trying to get him to break it with the hat trick last night at home with Gretzky in attendance.
They should have. I think the net was empty at one point.
I don't want it to be an empty
No, I don't
netter.
either. But I think I heard Joe say this to you yesterday off the air. This would have been, if he would have gotten it yesterday, it would have been in one less game than Gretzky.
I think he
did.
made that up.
I'm
No, he
99%.
didn't.
No, that's true.
Oh, okay.
No,
I
that's
thought I was laughing because I thought Joe Dubin completely just made that up.
No, that's been a big conversation. I think on TNT.
Whether he does it in a game less or something like that.
Yeah, they're
Okay,
like-
gotcha.
He's done all this, and I think at the time it was like 3 games less. Now it'll be a game less. Which is
Okay,
crazy.
I
I
need
was
to
about
take
to
Big
feel
Joe
like-
more seriously.
I was about to feel like such an idiot. If
No,
you
'cause-
said no, he made that
Okay,
up.
then I feel like an idiot, but I guess I need to learn to take Big Joe seriously.
because the
sometimes, 'cause-
conversation after that on the broadcast, the TNT broadcast, was, well, is he a automatic Hall of Famer, hockey Hall of Famer? And
Oh, yeah.
everybody's like, yeah, sure.
yeah,
but
he's got a
like,
cup.
They were saying, is he better than Gretzky? And the whole
No.
conversation is like, absolutely not. Because if you take away all of Gretzky's goals, he still leads all points and assists.
I will.
Right,
I will take this to the grave. Wayne Gretzky. Excuse me, I'm about to sneeze. Wayne Gretzky is the most dominant professional athlete of all time across any sport.
I think he is the
Ooh.
most uncatchable GOAT
Yes.
in the 4 major sports.
It's for the 3 for me are probably him, Muhammad Ali, and Michael Jordan. Those are the 3.
Yeah, but like MJ and like LeBron is close if he hasn't already caught him.
Just because of longevity.
Yeah,
LeBron's played
Bra-
21
like-
years in the NBA. Jordan played 13.
Brady is having 7 rings. That might never be
That is
topped.
true,
But like,
right.
I think Gretzky, unless like even McDavid with how good he's been, he's nowhere close to
Oh
catching
yeah,
Wayne
no.
Gretzky. So yeah, I agree with
Who's
that.
the baseball goat?
That's a great
It's so
question.
subjective.
I don't know if there is a like.
Like Willie Mays has a conversation.
I think Barry Bonds, if it wasn't for the steroids,
Yeah.
would probably be up there.
Here's my thing about that.
Satchel Paige, maybe.
If Barry Bonds is looked at as one of the greats of baseball, then you cannot frown upon this torpedo bat thing. And we'll get into more to that
Yeah.
at 9:45. But like,
I think if Barry Bonds didn't have the steroid cloud around him, I think he would be widely considered as the greatest baseball player
Bob
of all
Gibson,
time.
I think you could throw up.
Hank
there.
Aaron.
I'm going to throw 2 names out there that are currently playing, and this is an easy thing to say, but Shohei
Shohei.
Ohtani and Aaron Judge. I personally
No
think
Mike Trout.
of his generation, yes.
Shohei will end up being in that conversation.
Oh yeah.
My thing about Aaron Judge, if we're talking about one of the best hitters of all time, is if he beats Barry Bonds' single season home run record this year, and I think he might, which I believe is 73 or 76,
Yeah.
somewhere around that. And I think he really might. He's on track for
Mm.
that. I would consider Aaron Judge the best hitter of all time.
I broke that in the show one time with Paul DeYoung.
Really?
It was,
Whoa, of all players.
Wow.
it was awesome.
Yeah, that's it's a good point. And I guess we'll talk more about baseball and the torpedo bats and all that coming up at 9:45 in Newt's Notes. Nick Frazier, you are in charge of our question of the day. What is it today?
Thank you, gentlemen. All right. So obviously some rough storms came through Nashville and the Middle Tennessee area previously in the last few days, and maybe some today as well. So stay alert with that. But a little fun with all this somber mood. You're in a storm shelter. What are 5 things that you would have in your storm shelter? It could be, a laptop. It could be, I don't know, a board game. It could be something that
Board
could
game.
I'm just saying there are people that play all these board
Hey,
games.
What's the trouble?
Trouble.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'd whoop all of you in checkers. Just saying.
Okay.
It's a good
Some
thing it's
card
not
games.
chess.
Yeah, that's it.
Or if you want to, put a Blackstone in a storm cellar. I don't know.
Bring a
That's
pig with
great
you.
idea.
Yeah, bring a pig.
Yeah.
Bring a pig.
I like the question. What are 5 things that you would want in your storm shelter, your safe place,
Yeah.
to entertain you and whatever else it might be? 615.
If you want to do wrong answers only, that's fine.
Yeah, that would be great too. 615-737-1025. Our phone line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. You can text or call. We will give our answers coming up at 10 o'clock. We've already got one text on the text line. Unnamed texter says SGA, Curry in the Bay, Embiid don't even play Lakers in 5.
Shannon?
I don't know.
Shannon Sharp?
Oh yeah. Oh yes. Yeah. It might be Shannon Sharp. Yes. There's
Marshall.
a few of these that have been sent over the last couple of months. So
There you go.
615-737-1025 is our phone line. Again, you can text or call. We are off and running on this Saturday morning. 4's Company. When we come back, we're going to get into some Titans talk. Not talking about Cam Ward today, guys. We're talking about what happens beyond Cam Ward because it is locked in that Ward is going to go number 1. We're not even going to talk about it. We'll talk some Final Four later on with the national semifinals coming up later today. 4's Company, 1025, 1063 The Game. Today on 102.5 The Game, shortly after us, tune in for Vanderbilt baseball as the Commodores take on the Florida Gators. Pregame begins at 11:45. First pitch is at noon. Coverage also available on the Game Nashville app and at thegamenashville.com. 4's Company, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Jake Lyman, Nick Frazier, Connor Newt, Jake Wallman with you till 11 o'clock. Going to dive into some Titans here, but a reminder, our question of the day. Nick Frazier wants to know, if you are in your safe place, your storm shelter, what are 5 things you want to bring with you? As again, we are watching more inclement weather throughout the day here. Hope everybody stays safe out there in Middle Tennessee. Let's get into the Titans. Everybody is still talking about what the Titans are going to do at 1-1. Us on this show, we already know what the Titans are going to do, so we don't need to talk about that anymore. Cam Ward's going to be the number 1 pick. What are the Titans going to do beyond that? That is what we're asking today. I think you can clearly look and see wide receiver and edge rusher are massive needs.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you got Calvin Ridley, but pretty much nothing else beyond that at wide receiver. You signed Van Jefferson. You still have Bryce Oliver, Traylon Burks, but you need wide receiver help. And on the other side, at edge rusher, you signed Draymond Jones. You have Arden Key, but I don't feel good about either of those guys being a top line pass rusher.
No.
So right now you only have one other top 100 pick outside of the number 1 pick. What do you do with that pick? Is it wide receiver? Is it edge? Do you trade down? What do you think the Titans need to do?
If you're going quarterback, you have got to get him a young wide receiver. I think I've heard a lot of talk about Matthew Golden. I'm not sure if he'll be there at the time the Titans pick, but if he slips, you do it. I think, granted, he had a horrible 40 time, but I think Restrepo would be a solid pick because Cam Ward and him already have chemistry. He's a young receiver you could develop. And guess what? Players get faster if you put time and energy into them. Maybe if Luther Burden falls to the second round, you can scoop him up and get him. He's dropping off a lot of boards. Tet McMillan, I don't think will fall to the second round at all. I think he's a late first, but I don't know. He's slipping. So,
do you guys see the video about him on social media recently?
Mm-mm.
Somebody, I guess, like snuck a video of him at like a mall or something. He was eating lunch and he was talking about watching film. He goes, "Yeah, man, I don't watch film."
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I'll have to find the video and show you guys in the
That's
break.
what
He goes,
you want to hear.
"Yeah, I don't watch film. I just if we have a meeting, I'll watch film there. But I don't watch film." I was like, "Yikes!"
Yeah, no, thank
It's
you.
not good.
Yeah,
Never mind.
It's rough.
Never mind.
So
I'm good.
I'm with you, Connor. I think wide receiver should be the priority. You can piece together your pass rush unit, especially because you have Jeff Simmons and Tavondre Sweat inside. Like, you can wait until next year to add an edge rusher, but I think you do need a wide receiver to grow with Cam Ward.
Yes.
I think there's 3. If they fall to 35, you sprint the slip in. Matthew Golden, who's not going to get there.
I'd personally run up to the podium.
Yeah, I think the whole city of Nashville would run that pick in if Matthew Golden fell. He's not getting out of the first round.
No.
The 2 that I think are maybe not realistic, but possible, Luther Burden and Emeka Egbuka.
Forgot about Egbuka.
I think
talked about him a lot this
if
week.
those 2 guys are there at 35, either of them, I think you run the pick in and
Mhm.
take them. If they're all gone, if all of those wide receivers are gone, I think trade back is probably your best bet. Unless an edge rusher that you really like falls down, I think you trade back and try and pick up a third-round pick.
This is surprisingly a really deep edge rusher draft. So I think by trading down, replenish your third-round pick from this year. Maybe you grab a guy that's slipped out of the second round in the third round. I think that could be the move if there's no wide receivers there.
I'm curious if the Titans were to say Ibuka's off the board, Burden's off the board. Wouldn't you say they do draft Cam Ward? Wouldn't you enjoy or entertain the thought that you go pick up Restrepo? Like trade back out of that second round pick. Maybe he falls late in the second round or third round or so forth because he had a not a great 40-yard dash at his pro day.
What do you
People were
4.9 or something.
It was like a 4.85 or something like that. I don't know. It was pretty.
It was like a 4.78, I think.
Yeah, 4.78.
I think Joe Dubin could run that.
You want a conspiracy theory here?
Oh, let's hear it. I love it.
Restrepo tanked his 40 times so he'd fall to the 4th round and the Titans could take him there.
Oh my, this is
to
fascinating.
reunite him with Cam Ward.
I'm digging.
I would-
I'm
this.
kidding. I like that.
I
that's
wouldn't be mad.
not a thing, but
I'd be okay with it.
I think he's going to fall to day 3 now,
Mhm.
and he plays way faster than a 4.78. Like you
Yeah.
watch him on film, he doesn't look slow.
He's a physical.
See, there's a difference. There's speed like track speed. Then there's football speed.
Right.
There's like a football physicality and a regular physicality.
Well, he's
Like,
not a deep threat, but he's a playmaker. He's
And-
like a physical.
it's instinct. Yes. Like a wide receiver that has really good instinct can look a lot faster in game rather than at a pro day.
He's a
Something
big play guy.
Yeah.
Big play merchant.
I think you probably have to double up on receiver anyway. So if you do take a wide receiver on day 2, I wouldn't hate if Restrepo's sitting there. Maybe not at, is it 103 that the Titans have? Yes, 103,
fourth round.
the first pick of day 3. I don't know if you take him there, but you've got the one at 120, kind of middle of the 4th round. If he slips that far, I would be perfectly fine with taking Xavier Restrepo and just giving Cam Ward a familiar target, even if he doesn't end up playing a whole lot of snaps for you. If he can be your wide receiver 4 or 5 and just give a guy in that room that can kind of maybe tell the other guys like, hey, this is what Cam likes. This is how Cam Ward plays. I think that would be good for the Titans, and you're not using a premium draft pick on him.
What about the tight end as well from Miami?
You stole the words out of my mouth.
Arroyo's good.
Yeah, he's sneaky good.
He shows up on the film when you watch Cam Ward. I think he's a 2nd round pick.
Right.
And that was another question that I wanted to get into. Maybe let's get into that on the other side. Is there are these secondary needs that if you want the Titans to compete this year, you probably got to fill them. But if you're looking more of this as a development year for Cam Ward and a rebuild year, then it's fine. But tight end is one of those positions where it feels like you really want to upgrade there, but you just don't have the resources. So we'll talk about that coming up next. Again, we're working on what the Titans' best plan of action is beyond Cam Ward at number 1 overall. 615-737-1025 is our phone number if you want to chime in. Our phone line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Be sure to tune into 94.9 The Fan tonight as the Nashville Sounds take on Gwinnett. Pregame begins at 4:50 and the first pitch is at 5:05. Coverage also available on the Game Nashville app and at thegamenashville.com. Sounds baseball on 94.9 The Fan, presented by Twin Peaks and Family Leisure. 4's Company coming back after this on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game. The Game Nashville Sports Network is your home for NASCAR. Tomorrow on ESPN 94.9 The Fan, engines will rev up for the Goodyear 400 following the Sounds baseball game. Coverage also available at the Game Nashville app and at theGameNashville.com. Jake Lyman, Nick Frazier, Connor Newt, Jake Wallman, 4's company on this Saturday morning. We are diving into day 2 for the Titans and beyond. Cam Ward is going to be the number 1 pick. We have settled on that as a show. What do the Titans do beyond that? We talked a lot about wide receiver and edge as the 2 massive needs, but there are other spots where the Titans do need some depth. Tight end is one that we talked about. Linebacker. I don't know if you feel great about that. You have the trio of young players with James Williams and Cedric Gray and Otis Reese, but is that enough in that second linebacker spot next to Cody Barton?
It's a prove-it year for all those guys.
Right. You probably need a swing tackle. I don't know. Is it Hance? Blake Hance is the guy they brought in who's kind of their jack of all trades offensive lineman, but I don't know if you feel good about him if Moore or Latham go down. You probably need safety help too, at least depth. But do you want to spend, if you don't trade back from 35, that's really your only other premium asset that you have the rest of this offseason? Do you want to spend that on one of those positions when you do have the big holes at wide receiver and edge rusher?
It's not just a 1 year. Like, it depends on how you look at the team. Do you want
Right.
them to compete this year? Like you're saying, I would rather see them not compete this year. I'd rather see them build up through the draft. So just kind of don't go all in on that one, like, top 100 pick, if that makes sense. Go and trade it back, acquire more, and actually do a little extra scouting on some of these.
There's too many holes on this team to fix in this draft,
Yeah.
especially this draft, which is kind of considered as a weaker draft class, especially from the quarterback position. But you're taking a quarterback number 1, so it doesn't matter. There's just, I'm with you, Frazier. I don't really want to see him. I want to see him go out there and compete, but I don't know if I want them to win.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. It's hard for me to root against the Titans and say, I want them to go out and lose this game like Jared does all the time. But what I feel like losing to the caliber you lost last season may actually end up bettering the franchise for the future.
Here's my thing. And this whole entire week, I know as a show, we're on the Cam Ward number 1 overall pick thing. Yesterday I was hosting with Joe. He proposed an idea about, it could possibly happen, probably not, because Micah Parsons is a massive deal. But, like, he offered the idea of, like, what if the Titans were to get Micah Parsons along with, trading away the number 1 overall pick and you acquire picks in return with that? I'm just like, yeah, it could happen, but you ain't got to pay him a lot of money. But besides that, that's one thing. My other thing is, if this is like a non-compete year for them, if the Titans were to trade off the number 1 overall pick and go with what Jared's saying with the Giants and, like, having that slew of picks, more than likely you're going to be picking in the top 100 once again with a lot of picks in return. Right. So in that regard,
who's your quarterback?
That's what I was saying.
You cannot try Brandon Allen and Will Levis
again.
out there.
We said it last week. If you don't take Cam Ward, you are basically saying we're going to go 1-16 this year.
Here's another thing that I have. It's maybe conspiracy, whatever, but I think Brian Callahan's gone after, like, week 7. Wow. If the Titans start 2-6 or 1-5, I think he's out of the plans and he's gone.
That's a popular thought. Just because it felt like they weren't all that convicted to keep him this year, but didn't want to fire everybody. I would not be surprised if Brian Callahan is not the head coach, at the very least, at the end of next year.
My problem with that is, though, if you're taking Cam Ward number 1, which I think we've established they are, you got to commit to Brian Callahan.
But it just happens all the time.
I know.
But that's the thing, is that if they were to move off of the number 1 overall pick and don't go with Cam Ward, that solely tells me this is not Brian Callahan's team anymore.
Right.
It's Borgonzi's.
Yeah.
And then if they do draft Cam Ward, that is now Callahan's quarterback. That is the one that is going to be stuck with him and establish his, I guess, namesake as a head coach. And if he can't develop him, then that's an issue. That's where you got to cut ties.
Yeah. And I think we're going to learn pretty quickly how the Titans feel about Brian Callahan if it is a slow start in 2025. Looking at what the Titans could do with that second round pick, we mentioned that I think if there is a marquee player that falls out of the first round. We mentioned the wide receivers. Maybe it's an edge rusher like James Pierce or something like that falls down to 35. But if there's not, looking at the draft trade value chart, you could probably move back about 10 spots and pick up a middle of the third round pick. Like, let's say if you trade back with Arizona at 47, you could probably get 78. Maybe you have to throw in a fifth or a sixth or something in there to make that work. I think it might make sense then to just knock out wide receiver and edge with those two picks. Edge is deep. Wide receiver, I've seen some things about Kyle Williams at Washington State, who played with Cam Ward. Maybe that's a guy that you bring in. And we talked about Xavier Restrepo being a guy who knows Cam Ward in that room. Maybe Kyle Williams is the more talented version of Xavier Restrepo.
A little bit of a height difference, right?
Yes.
I hate to put you on the spot like that, but
well,
Restrepo's a short guy like me. I mean, can't help it.
Williams is more of like an outside guy, as Restrepo's in the slot. But Williams, right. I've seen there's the clip from last year of him burning Travis Hunter for a touchdown, which has been floating around. Another guy who's been floated, and I think he did a 30 visit with the Titans, is Rocky Top's own Dante Thornton Jr.
Yes.
Who he's got 4.3 speed. I wouldn't hate that to just go get Cam Ward, a guy that he can throw the ball up to down the sideline.
Wouldn't either. No, I think that's a solid receiver option to look at. I say that as putting all biases aside. Biases don't matter when it comes to the NFL draft. You take the best player. And I'm not saying Dante Thornton's the best receiver in the draft, but 4.3 to a young quarterback, I think that's a solid pickup, man.
I think I would feel great if the Titans, like, obviously I want Luther Burden. I think that would be a home run. But if the Titans
Heisman winner,
if the Titans come out of
that's your guy
of day 2 with Cam Ward, Kyle Williams / Dante Thornton in the second round, and then an edge rusher in the third round, I think that's a great start. And then you have the first pick of day 3, where maybe you could get a tackle, or maybe that's when you go tight end if there's somebody up there that can compete with Chig and Josh Wiley. I think that is a strategy where you fill those massive holes and you have some young talent at wide receiver and pass rusher, and also can kind of get some of those supplementary depth pieces on day 3, excuse me. So there's a long way to go, and it all depends on how the board falls, right? You have no idea how the draft is going to work out and who's going to be there at 35.
Yeah.
But I think, are we all kind of in agreement that they got to get a young wide receiver in this draft?
Yes.
Because Calvin Ridley, how many more good prime years do we think we're getting out of Calvin Ridley?
1.5.
1 to 2.
Yeah. At most. So you got to get somebody that can be the Robin to Cam Ward's Batman as he grows up here.
Yeah, I think the way Cincinnati did things with Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow, you kind of have to replicate that. That seems to be the new, I guess, formula in the NFL. Well, I mean, it's the new formula, because then you look at Patrick Mahomes, he's a different breed. Anybody that comes into the league, he's able to transform them into, being the, wide receiver for him. But I don't know. I think the Cincinnati formula is the way to go going forward.
And don't forget that 2020 draft, they took Burrow first, and then the first pick of day 2, they took T. Higgins. Yep. So Brian Callahan has been part of this before, where you take your quarterback of the future, get him a wide receiver immediately on the very next day. 615-737-1025 is our phone number. Let's go to our phone lines, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Trey is on the line wanting to chime in. Trey, good morning. Go ahead.
Good morning, guys. How are y'all?
Hey.
Doing well.
Hey, I just wanted to ask y'all, okay, if they draft Cam Ward, okay, and he comes in here and he'll have to beat out Will Levis for the job, or if they will anoint him and give him the job, do y'all think that Coach Callahan can coach him up after seeing what the product that Coach Callahan put out there last year? I don't know, and it kind of bothers me, and I just wanted to see what y'all thoughts were. Thank y'all. Y'all have a good, blessed day.
Thank you, Trey.
Thanks for calling, Trey. I see what he's saying there, but it's a different player. And I think, at least until proven otherwise, I'm going to put Will Levis's struggles last year on Will Levis, not on Brian Callahan.
That's 100% fair. I mean, you go flick a ball in Chicago that leads to
right.
Yeah, that's on Will
Levis.
Levis.
I could be proven wrong, and Cam Ward could start this year and the system just doesn't fit his play style and the coaching is bad. But based on what I saw last year, I don't blame Brian Callahan for what Will Levis did.
You got to think too. Cam Ward is known to go into system changes.
Yeah.
He's played for 4 schools in 4 years with 4 different systems.
Only 3.
Only 3?
Incarnate Word, Washington State, and Miami.
Yeah.
Oh, I was factoring high school.
Oh, well, he played 2 years at Incarnate Word and 2 at Miami, or 2 at Washington State.
Okay.
So 3
So-
schools in 5 years.
Okay. Still, point stance.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He's able to flip and be successful in systems. We've kind of seen the evolution of him starting at Incarnate Word, making his way up to Washington State, and then becoming a Heisman candidate at Miami. Who's to say he can't come into this Callahan system and prove he's a number 1 pick worthy quarterback?
Yeah, there's 2 ways to look at the development of Cam Ward if he were to be drafted by the Titans. That is, he adjusts to the Titans system or the Titans adjust to his system,
Yeah.
to his talents. And to Trey's point, though, I mean, he does make a valid point. And to making it, if it, you mentioned Will Levis and Brian Callahan, I would say 60-40. 60% on Will Levis, 40% on Brian Callahan. Because when Brian Callahan came to Nashville, that was the sales pitch. Will Levis is a good quarterback. I
Right.
can make him
He's
into
part of the
something.
reason I took this job.
Yeah. So then you go look at that. Then that 40% is the concern I have on Brian Callahan. Can he really develop a quarterback like Cam Ward, or is Cam Ward's talents going to overmask Brian Callahan's, I guess, skill level of how to develop him? And then he just calls the plays and Cam Ward perfects those. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And this is how it goes in the NFL, that the new guy gets the pass. So Will Levis was here before Brian Callahan. All right, we're going to blame Will Levis for his struggles last year. But if Cam Ward comes in and struggles, it's Brian Callahan's fault. He's going to get fired. Like that's how it's going to work. And then you bring in the new coach. If Cam Ward is still not very good, then it's Cam Ward's fault. You're going to give the new guy a little bit more of the benefit of the doubt over the first couple of years. So we'll see. I at this point, I'm willing to give Brian Callahan a chance to develop Cam Ward, but I think you're right that if they're 2-5, 2-6 midway through the year, you could see that trigger get pulled sooner rather than
Short
later.
leash.
Yep. And especially they've got Bones Fossil on the roster, who's been an interim coach before. They've got the guy who could just step in and be the interim guy the rest of the season. So we will see how that all works out when September rolls around. It's time for the 4th annual 615 Open Charity Golf Tournament. Cromwell Media, along with partners Fox 17, Outfront Media, and Social Indoor, are proud to announce we'll be back at Hermitage Golf Course on Thursday, May 29th to make a difference while having a great time. You can join us and a few guest media members, athletes, and musicians as we raise money for Folds of Honor. Donations will go to provide life-changing scholarships to families of America's fallen or disabled military and first responders. Sign up to play or sponsor at 615open.com. Coming up next, we've teased it, torpedo bats. Thoughts. Newt's Notes is next here on 4's Company, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
These numbers.
It's America's favorite segment. You hear the intro.
Talking about America's pastime.
Yeah. 4's Company. It's 9:45 on a Saturday, which means it's time for Newt's Notes. Connor, take it away.
Okay, so we teased it earlier. It's time to talk about it. Torpedo bats. The bats taking not the MLB, because that's grammatically incorrect, I've learned. MLB by storm. I am so torn on how to be for this. There's pros and cons. Pros are you get a higher offensive game. It's like the legal steroid era. It's like watching Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa and Barry Bonds go out there with a legal bat. I think the legal bat parameters are like 2.62 inches or something like that. The torpedo bat fits those demographics.
Mm-hmm.
You're having a more fun game, and the MLB is capitalizing on this by saying, hey, these guys are using torpedo bats. Do you want to see Ellie De La Cruz go out there and hit 3 runs and go 4 of 5 on the day? Go for it. We're going to put the Reds on Fox or something. Go watch them, national television. And I think that's going to help the MLB's numbers this summer, because you're going to look at it and say, hey, they're using torpedo bats. That means this is going to be a 10-8 game. That means it's not going to be much of a pitcher game. It's going to be, who's batting in the 5 and the 6 hole, and can they get it over the fence? Those are the pros. The cons are, we've talked about this before, Frazier, the baseball purist in me just doesn't like it. You're putting the batter at an advantage, but you're putting all the pitchers at a disadvantage, because what the torpedo bat is basically they take the sweet spot of a normal bat and they curate it to the batter. So if your sweet spot is right in the center, they'll move it right down to the center. If you hit through the tip of the bat, that sweet spot is going to move towards the top, and you're going to get more power on the tip. Pause. But it's putting the pitcher and the outfielder at a disadvantage, because what are they going to do? How are they going to stop that?
I'll say this about the torpedo bats. You mentioned like it'd be an advantage for the hitter and a disadvantage for the pitcher. To me, if I'm a pitcher and you have a really good fastball where you're able to command it, like say if you're looking at a 4-seam fastball and your index finger right here, it is able to stay on a consistent stride to where you're able to put more backspin on a fastball rather than like a 2-seamer or starts to veer off. If you can command a good fastball, you should have no problem with these torpedo bats. If you can command the strike zone, if you're a really good pitcher, you can easily take advantage of this. I think it's an advantage for pitchers in some regard. But the issue is in the MLB, that there is a lot of mediocrity at pitching. Because you see a lot of the Max Scherzers, the Justin Verlanders. They're the Aaron Rodgers of this era of baseball.
No, you're right.
They're holding on to their.
Why are you going after my boys like that?
Sorry.
I mean,
that was a just absolute gut shot.
Paul Skeens is not going to have a problem striking out a guy with a torpedo bat.
Correct.
It's your relief pitcher. It's your Miles Michaelis that's going to have a hard time, especially these contact pitchers that like to force it into double plays. If you throw a 4-seamer right down the middle, chances are it's going 425 out the yard. So listen to these numbers of guys that are using torpedo bats. Volpedo, as he's been called now. Anthony Volpe, he's kind of the first one to use it. In 28 at-bats, he's batting .286 with a .750 slug percentage in 4 home runs.
God.
Inflated numbers. It's inflating the numbers. Ellie De La Cruz, who I just mentioned, in 32 at-bats, is batting .250 with a .500 slug percentage and 2 home runs. O'Neal Cruz for the Pirates, 26 at-bats, .231 for a .462 slug percentage and 2 home runs. Jazz Chisholm for the Yankees, 29 for .241 and .655 with 4 home runs. So you can look at this from the perspective of this is helping the game. It's making baseball more fun. Baseball's more fast-paced with this, the offense, the pitch clock. It's a modernized game of baseball. But the baseball historian and the purist I am and the player I was, it's just not natural to me. It's like I feel like everyone should have the same level of advantage at the plate. The batter should be able to use a normal bat. The pitcher should be able to use the pitches he throws with the same ball. That's just the purist in me. I don't know. It's legal, and I don't think anything is going to be done about it this season because it's driving in money. We talked about it off the air. They're curating this to kids now too. You can go buy a torpedo bat. A normal bat costs $150. The torpedo bat is $120, so it's cheaper. I don't know. It's just I'm so split. I don't know how to feel about it. On one hand, I love it. On the other hand, I hate it. But baseball is fun. So
indeed it is. I mentioned this to you guys in the break about this segment I saw on MLB Now with Brian Kinney and the CEO. I think it's like Long Ball Baseball or whatever it's called. It's one of those companies. They curate baseball bats for certain clients they have in baseball. And one of them I mentioned was Tommy Edman, who's having a phenomenal start to the season with a lot of home runs. But another client was Byron Buxton. And they ended up talking later in the conversation that Byron Buxton has over probably 150 bats, and you have to get 2 bats pre-approved each game. And once you do that, you're curating bats for certain pitchers.
Yeah.
So like I mentioned, I said they have like a golf bag's worth of different bats for different pitchers. So like if you know that you're going up against a Aroldis Chapman and you have a torpedo bat specifically made to go up against Aroldis Chapman at the end of the game, there you go. If you have a some sort of bat ready for, I don't know, Carlos Rondon with the Yankees, you can have that ready to go. Like he has those curated for himself. Like he was saying, it's an incredible science that baseball has now figured out. And I don't know if it's a fad or if it's going to be around for the long haul. I really don't know.
I think it's going to be less of a big deal by the end of the season. I think people will be talking about it less. It became such a big deal because first off, it was the Yankees who were doing it. Also, the Yankees were playing in their Cracker Jack box of a home stadium where they hit 15 home runs in 3 games. So I think that's a big reason why, is because it came right off the bat on opening day to probably the biggest brand in Major League Baseball. I also can't believe it took this long, and it took the Yankees hiring a physicist to realize that if you put more wood where the batter hits the ball, it goes further. Like it's been 200 years that we've been playing baseball and no one's figured this out yet. Like, hey, as long as it's within the 2.61 inches or whatever it is, you can move that wood wherever you want it to be. So it's smart. I think it's just going to become the new normal. And sure, the numbers might be inflated for a little bit here, but I think pitchers are also going to start to figure it out.
Yeah,
and
they're going to adjust.
They're going to adjust and say, okay, well, this guy has a torpedo bat. I'm going to throw my 2-seamer and try and start it 3 inches further inside and see if I can saw him off here. So
I see a lot of different guys at the mound. They're going to either be more on the left side of the rubber or the right side of the rubber to approach.
Right.
That. Yeah.
Right. Speaking of which, I told you guys I had this idea this weekend. It's never going to happen. It's really stupid, but how funny would it be if in baseball, if you broke your bat in an at-bat and the ball went foul, that you can't get a new one. You got to swing with whatever you've got left in your hands. I think that would be hilarious if it's just like, hey, you can't switch out your bat until your next at bat. So it's like, yeah, if you get sawed off and it goes into play, whatever. But if you foul it off, maybe only a splinter comes off and you got 90% of a bat. Maybe you're just holding the handle.
It's like Roman Empire. Yeah, it's like very, very.
I can tell you were a couple beers deep.
Roman Empire.
A couple ice waters.
There you go. I don't know. It'd be a cool idea. I think it'd be fun.
This was just a stupid idea. I was like, how funny would that be if you broke your bat and you've just got to step in there just holding the handle.
Hit it straight with the knob.
You just got to hope that you get walked at that point.
Bunt it with the knob. He's going
imagine
jab.
Imagine if it's Aaron Judge. He's like, oh, man, I need to,
I would dive into the middle of the plate and try to take one.
I will say, though, about torpedo bats, it's going to bring a lot more influence back to the home run derby.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No, that is true.
I didn't think about that.
A benefit for MLB for sure.
And the All-Star game, too.
Yeah. Yep. And I do love the home run derby. That was one of my favorite things to watch as a kid. Derby. Let's quickly go to our phone lines. Edward is on the line wanting to chime in on the torpedo bat. Edward, good morning. Go ahead.
Morning, guys. Enjoy your show. I'm out biking right now before the weather gets bad.
Hell yeah.
And just wanted to I am a Yankee fan. Aaron Judge, I don't know if you heard what he said about the torpedo bat, but he goes, why stop a good thing? I mean, the regular bat's been working for him, and he's not changing. You're right, Anthony Volpe did get this thing started, but I believe some pitchers will adjust to what's going on, as you all stated. and make the difference. The Yankees are hurting because we've lost Garrett Cole. But yeah, it's interesting. It's MLB probably loves the talk that's surrounding it right now. But yeah, I just wanted to make those comments.
Thank you for the call, Edward. And yeah, Aaron Judge, I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah, he hit 3 home runs, I think, the other day with a normal bat.
Right. It's like some of these guys have crafted their swings to make sure that when they make contact, it's in the sweet spot. Aaron Judge is one of those guys. Shohei Ohtani. So I don't think you're going to see every single hitter in the MLB do this, but guys who maybe are a tick late on the fastball, maybe get sawed off, get jammed in on the hands a little bit more, you'll start to see it. But not everybody's going to move to this.
For guys like Aaron Judge, they don't need to,
right?
Because they're technically sound at their at bats. They just don't need it. I mean, and to another point about just baseball in general, when it comes to torpedo bats, you're going to see more of. Well, I just lost my train of thought. What was I going to say? It was you know what? Forget it. Scrap it. We're already.
I think they're curating to this torpedo bat. I think it's curated more to the next generation of players.
Yeah.
Look at the young Anthony Volpe is a young second-year player. Ellie De La Cruz.
Yeah.
Adley Rutschman is a good one for the Orioles, the catcher. They're trying to find this next generation of players to be the face of the torpedo bat so these kids can look at it and say, wow, this next generation is great. I want to be just like them.
That's what it was. Giancarlo Stanton. He last year tested this out with the Yankees, had an elbow injury. And so this past offseason, they reevaluated this torpedo bat. I was reading up on it. They reevaluated the, I guess, metrics of the bat. I don't know. And that's why you're seeing less injuries, snap the bat, and so forth.
Right.
But, Stanton did say he was going to use this when he comes back from injury.
And I think you're right, Connor. I think we are going to see, as players start to use these bats as they come through the minor leagues, it's going to become more widespread. But these established players who are already really good, they're not going to, don't fix it if it ain't broke. 615-737-1025. We went way over on that segment.
It's okay. Good conversation.
We will get to our question of the day coming up next. What are 5 things that you want in your storm shelter with some of the weather rolling through Middle Tennessee this week? 4's Company, hour number 2, coming up next here on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game. 4's Company, hour number 2 on this Saturday, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Jake Lyman, Nick Frazier, Connor Newton, Jake Wallman. We are brought to you by LPL Financial Nashville and Patrick Conger. LPL Financial Nashville is your partner for whatever your future holds. We're broadcasting live from the Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville studios. Home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership, where the buzz is always about great service. Coming up in the final hour of the show, we're going to get into the Final Four national semifinals in the NCAA tournament. Tonight, we'll get Florida and Auburn, Duke and Houston. All the 1 seeds are in San Antonio for the Final Four this year. We'll get into that coming up in our next segment, but first, let's answer our question of the day. Nick Frazier, with all of the weather that's rolled through Middle Tennessee this week, wants to know, what are 5 things you'd bring to your safe place, your storm shelter, during a storm? We do have an answer on our text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025. Devin in Dixon says he would have his PS5, a television, a pizza, a recliner, and a blanket. Game set match.
Close enough.
Yes, close enough.
Swing and a miss.
That honestly, I think that's pretty close to
That's
what
probably
I would
what
go
I
with.
would do. Yeah.
Like, if I could spend 12 hours down there if you get me some food and MLB The Show.
Yeah.
I could easily delete a day.
You're right.
Just sitting there.
Just a no bones day.
There was a movie that just came out on Netflix. It's called Leave the World Behind. And it kind of has something similar to this. It's like,
it's very apocalyptic.
yeah, it is an apocalyptic style movie. So you've seen it too, Woman, huh?
I've not watched it, but I've
Seen the
definitely heard
previews?
of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an interesting movie to watch. And it kind of inspired this, question of the day for the most part. So just putting that out there. Just give more context behind the question.
Would you bring something like if the world's flooding and you don't know when you're going to get out, would you bring something like sentimental with you?
Yeah.
Something, yeah, for sure. I can't think of what it would be right now.
I'd bring a rosary.
Yeah, I think I would too.
Yeah. Either a rosary or a Bible, one of the two.
Yeah.
But what would I bring to Storm Cellar? There's a game. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. It's called Bingo. Never heard of it. It's like a finger soccer game. So like there's like it's a triangular it's like a triangular little pins on a table, and it's like turf. They actually put it on a piece of plywood essentially, and it's turf. And you have little soccer goals, you get a little marble, and you flick it back and forth with somebody on the other side. It's a fun game.
Sounds
I played
fun.
it during COVID. So it was a blast. Kept me
With
preoccupied.
whom?
With my brother.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. You play by yourself.
I can.
One hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could.
I was pretty preoccupied doing this, but yeah, it's fun though. I recommend buying one. That or Jenga. There's a game called Phase 10. I don't know if that's
Never
Oh
heard
yeah,
that one either.
my in-laws are big
Yeah.
Phase 10 people.
right, left, center, all those. Yeah.
Yes.
My family's a big board game, games type people. My uncle is that.
Yahtzee.
Nah, not a
No,
Yahtzee.
no Yahtzee?
Nah, I can't do Yahtzee.
I just need a deck of cards. I feel like you can do
Yeah.
so much with a deck of cards.
Deck
That
of
would
cards.
definitely be in there for me.
Play rummy.
We'd be playing poker. We'd be
Blackjack.
gambling
Yeah,
rations of
we
food.
could play poker, hearts, spades.
Hey
like,
man, you gonna eat
there-
that spam? Nah, we're gonna.
We'll be gambling beans.
We could play Monopoly.
Yeah, we could do.
You could knock out 4 hours playing Monopoly, if not more.
Would a DVD player with The Office full 9 seasons be
Ooh,
in attendance
that'd
for all
be-
this?
Yeah.
I feel like you gotta kind of have something.
I
Like
would.
that.
You could also if you do the TV, if it's a smart TV, just as long as you have a streaming service, you got all that. Though.
Well, that's the thing.
Yeah.
I'd have to bring a Wi-Fi router.
Oh, good. Well,
Let's
are we saying that in the storm shelter, it's like in your house, like your safe place, like you have Wi-Fi?
let's go this way, Oklahoma style
Oh,
tornado.
we're saying
bunker.
like EF5. Like
Yes.
okay, you're
So Wi-Fi is out of the equation.
okay. So
here.
no Wi-Fi.
Oh, yeah.
So look, you could honestly get. I've seen these. I don't know why, but I've just been in depth with all this. There is a electric generator that can power a full house, like a 2-story house, and it's like $500 on Amazon. So I'm thinking about buying one. I don't know why, but if this were to ever happen, like a big tornado, plug that puppy up, plug a TV
You're
into
stocking
it.
meat for the apocalypse.
Why not? You can have a freezer, hook it up to the generator.
You know what I would bring?
Huh.
If the world was flooding,
Hmm.
pool noodles.
pool noodles.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's it. It's a good idea.
I may have
A
thought too
boogie
much
board.
into this question, but that's where I'm going with this.
So would the generator count as one of your 5 items if you brought that?
I'm gonna say no because it's already a necessity.
already
Okay,
supply,
so
yeah.
if we have the generator, I would Go router,
Okay.
Okay.
TV,
Yeah.
PS5,
Okay.
a pizza, and a deck of cards.
A singular pizza.
You
don't know how long
you
you're
can
gonna be
only
there.
get one.
What about a pizza oven? And you just
Yeah.
have the dough. You can make it.
But then
and-
that would be multiple items. I'd have to
I-
bring the dough and the sauce and
Well,
the
I
cheese.
think the
Yeah.
food prospect of it, I think that is like already down there.
Yeah.
So like you can't count
should've
the
been a little
food.
more
I'm still
specific with
I'm going to
this.
get like a really good pizza out before the storm
Pizza
comes.
boy.
Like it's gonna be
Pizza boy.
it's gonna be something not Little Caesars.
Oh.
No.
And then canned peaches for dessert.
there we go.
Oh, my
There we
word.
go. Again, you can chime in on our phone or text line if you have thoughts on our question of the day. What would you bring in your storm shelter? 5 items, 615-737-1025. Did we miss anything? Any other thoughts that you guys have?
So I'm a big shoes guy when it comes to getting into my safe space. Like I always think about like, what if your house gets destroyed and that part of the house is the only part left, and you don't want to be walking around with all this debris out with no shoes.
It's
So
a good point. I did not bring my shoes Wednesday night when I went down
I didn't either, but it was
where?
also like 3
to the
a.m.
basement.
Oh, I thought you meant like downtown. So like shoeless Jake
Yeah.
Lyman? Wait, what?
I
walking
went-
around Broadway.
One of my friends is
No
trying-
shoes, no shirt.
One of my friends the
No
other day was
problem.
I
trying
blended
to
in.
one of my friends the other day was trying to tell me that there's no better feeling than driving barefoot. I'm like, what?
Listen,
I think that's illegal.
it is illegal, but
Why would you ever do that?
there are people that have golf carts and gators and they have giant land.
I'm talking like full car,
Oh no.
seatbelt on, traveling 30 miles.
I do have to say, not 30 miles. I have done this probably once or twice, like driving from my neighborhood pool when I
Right.
was in
Yeah.
high school or something
But
like that. But yeah,
this guy was like,
if you're getting on a highway, you
He's
should
like,
not be
I'm-
driving barefoot.
he's like, I went through the Raising Cane's drive-through with no shoes. I was like, what is wrong with you?
His big toe is commanding the gas pedal. I don't like
That would hurt.
yeah,
too.
that it would hurt.
Yeah.
That would not feel good.
That would hurt.
Anyway,
So-
615-737-1025.
What a tangent.
We're going to get into the Final Four coming up next. National semifinals tonight, Auburn and Florida. So there will be one SEC team in the national championship. They will get the winner of Duke and Houston. Don't miss Nashville Super Speedway's pre-race concert contest, Nashville's Next Rising Star at Dierks Bentley's Whiskey Road today from 1 to 5. The contest will be emceed by none other than 1025 The Game's Big Joe Dubin, and special guest DJ Mojo will keep the crowd hyped up all afternoon. For more details, visit thegamenashville.com/events. Jake Lyman, Nick Frazier, Connor Newt, Jake Wallman, 4's Company, 1025, 1063 again. The Atlanta Braves country road trip is coming to town and teaming up with the Nashville Predators and 102.5 The Game. Join us at the BetMGM Sports Lounge in Bridgestone Arena on Wednesday, April 16th for a Braves watch party as they take on the Tampa Bay Rays at noon. There will be free giveaways like hats and t-shirts, plus you could win autographed baseballs and free tickets. For more details, visit thegamenashville.com/events.
We got someone on the text line
I know.
explaining why it's not illegal to drive barefoot.
Yes, Bradford texting in on our text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, and we appreciate it. He sent a screenshot of a Google search. It's a common misconception, but driving barefoot is not illegal in any state in the United States.
So Bradford, Texas back, are you a big toe driver? Is that what that is?
Maybe Bradford is big on driving barefoot. I know what I'm doing on the way home.
Driving with shoes on?
Yes.
There you go.
Maybe Bradford likes to be one with the car. Maybe he's just a barefoot
That's
driver
true.
that just likes to feel the vibration of the engine.
Yeah.
Maybe that's it. I don't know.
You can really feel the engine going when you push
The
down
mama.
barefoot.
The horsepower on the pedal.
I mean, I feel strange like driving in flip-flops. Like
I'm fine driving in slides.
or slides or
Well-
even like if I'll go golfing, like I have the wear anywhere golf shoes without like the actual spikes. It's the plastic.
Mm.
I feel weird driving in those.
You feel like you don't have a good grip on the
Right.
pedal.
It's like
Yeah.
because it's not flat. It's like a little grooved and it just feels
I've never
weird.
driven in cleats. I want to
I,
experience that.
You don't want to experience that.
No, that sounds awful.
I want to drive in my metal baseball spikes from high school.
How do women
Guilty.
drive in high heels?
They shouldn't,
But they do.
do they?
Maybe they're barefoot drivers.
Maybe they
Maybe.
are.
But that's an
Just
acceptable
like
barefoot.
Bradford.
Yeah.
Bradford, I'm sorry if you don't text back. You are a barefoot driver, so thanks, man.
615-737-1025 is the phone number. Let's get into some basketball here. Final Four starting tonight. Is it a 5:09 tip-off of the first semifinal? I
Yes.
think
It is a 5:09 tip-off and a 7:49 tip-off,
Yeah,
I believe,
so
for
just
Duke and Houston.
all
You
over the
excited
place.
about it, huh?
Oh, I'm pumped.
Tennessee's out though.
Yeah, I
It's
don't know. I
basketball.
don't know if you saw Houston won that game.
I actually put myself through 2 hours of pain because I was going into that thinking Tennessee had a legit shot.
Yeah, and I honestly did too. But
Are we
Sec-
delusional? today?
second straight year, Tennessee falls short of the Final
Are you
Four.
kidding me? You thought they had an actual
I thought they had a
to be-
chance.
Am I
Yeah.
allowed to talk now?
Please do.
I don't know. I just got cut off on my own show.
Go ahead.
I don't even know what I was going to say.
Talking about Houston and Tennessee.
5:09 tip-off tonight.
I was trying to confirm it. Yeah.
Yes.
And
yeah,
then-
5:09. Auburn and Florida, one of the SEC teams going to make the championship. I understand that there is some disappointment about not having any Cinderellas, right? Like everybody wants to see the Loyola Chicagos and the FAUs and those underseeded teams make a run. But I think we're going to get some phenomenal basketball tonight and on Monday with all of these one seeds.
It's going to be fun. This is going to be weird. But when my team's out, I root for the higher seed.
Yeah.
I want to see better games.
Auburn and Florida, I do think Auburn is the better team, but Walter
I
Clayton
disagree.
is so good.
I disagree.
Really? You think Florida's a
I
better
think
team?
Florida's the better team. I think Florida has more depth. I think they have more experience. I think they're just more of a well-rounded team, and I think they have more size than Auburn.
Yeah. I just, Janai Broom he is a force to be reckoned with. I think he only scored 18 against Florida in that first game against them.
Will he be available?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they showed he does have a big sleeve on his arm, but he was a full go with their shoot around yesterday. So I think Florida's going to win.
I do too.
Walter Clayton Jr., I mean, some of the shots that he hit in that game against Texas Tech, where just driving into the lane and then dribbling back out and just turn around, fade away from 3-point range. Boom.
He's one of
Like-
those players that every time he puts something up,
You think it's going
you
in.
think it's in.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then game 2 tonight, I don't want to not give Houston a shot, but I just think Duke is too talented for them.
They are.
Houston's going to want to muck it up and make it a 54-52 type of game. I just don't know if you can slow that Duke team down enough to win that one.
I mean, the whole narrative around them this year has been they're too young, they're inexperienced, but they haven't shown it. They got the National Player of the Year, the best player in the nation on their team in Cooper Flag.
Did you see the text?
Yeah, that's what I'm laughing
That's what I'm laughing at.
Bradford
Bradford texted back. He said he's not a barefoot driver. He hates not having shoes on in any situation. Try driving in snowboard boots. He said he ran into a light pole. I hope you're okay, Bradford. I hope. I want to take a minute. Knowing that you've run into a light pole, I'm hoping you're saying that you did it when you were driving in snowboard boots, not right now.
Not
Right.
I mean, we're a good show. We made you laugh.
Yeah.
We'll take pride in that.
Yes. Yeah.
If the big toe comment made you go off the road, I apologize. But I'm
Yes.
just
Toe or toenail?
if you drive with a toenail, you got an issue. That's a strong toenail.
Yeah. You need to,
You're having a lot of milk in your diet. or
You
something.
ever go
get
to the
some-
gym and just do toe day?
No, absolutely not. What? No, I don't do toe day. Like maybe like you do the calf raises that strengthens
but like
the
do it
toes.
with your toes.
Yeah, I mean you have to do it. That's the base of the workout. You start with the front ball of your feet. You lift up on your toes, and it strengthens your
just me
calves.
seeing how far can I push Nick Frazier.
We know
I mean-
Connor does toe day now.
I
do it alone.
my brain is scrambled after hearing the whole
I
do
do
you
it-
do a toe day workout.
do it
I'm
in the
like,
shower.
what?
the Final Four starts tonight.
Listen, I think Duke is a really good basketball team. If you give them just any chance of a run, like a 10-0 run or a 5-0 run, they're going to hold on to that lead. Like you're saying, Houston's going to try to muck up this game, and they're defensively sound for the most part. But Duke, like you're saying as well, and both of y'all, they're just too good. I think they're too good to the point. I think this game's going to be roughly about a 8-point game difference, maybe 10.
Yeah.
That sound about right?
I think that's about right. I think it'll probably end like 74-64 or something around there.
Duke will hit some shots though.
Yeah. I think we're going to get Duke Florida in the championship, and that
Me
is
too.
going to be a great game. I think Duke versus either Auburn or Florida is going to give us a great championship.
I mean,
game on
I
Monday.
hate that I don't really want Duke to win. I don't like Duke, but they're the best team on that side of the bracket. Florida, on the other hand, I feel like they match up really, really well. Like that would be a really fun game.
Again, as much as I wish we had an 8 or a 9 or a 10 seed who made a run, it's fun to get all the 1 seeds every once in a while because you do get great basketball games.
Mhm.
And I'm excited. 5:09 tip off of the first one.
Because 5-10 isn't good enough.
Yes. Or 5:05 or, even 5
5.
o'clock would have been great.
Hopefully we can watch it tonight.
Would have
and
made
not
Jimmy
be-
Buffett fans happy. 5 o'clock somewhere. Alan Jackson.
5
it's a
o'clock
good song.
in San Antonio.
Yeah.
That'll be, yeah.
I feel like San Antonio's a fun place to be. Just like not just for basketball, but like
Did Rexroad make it there?
I don't know. That's a great question.
Because he's supposed to leave Thursday, but there was a lot of
weather.
weather.
Yeah.
Charles Barkley would disagree with you.
He does not like San Antonio.
You've never seen that?
He doesn't like San Antonio women.
Oh wait, yes, I have seen this video. Yes, this is hilarious.
I think they should have had the Final Four in Galveston, where the dirty water washes up on the shore.
I believe the Charles Barkley clip goes that some woman like sent him pictures of
Yeah.
like, we're from San Antonio. And Charles Barkley's like, you're not from San Antonio.
Well, there was one where they showed a San Antonio Spurs cheerleader, and she was, attractive. Oh, hell no, that woman's not from San Antonio. They flew her in from Dallas.
Yeah, I remember hearing that too.
615-737-1025 is our phone number. We'll keep talking Final Four on the other side. 30 minutes left in our Saturday program. And don't forget, coming up at 11:45, Vandy baseball taking on Florida. Jake Lyman, Connor Newt, Jake Wallman, Nick Frazier, 4's Company, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. a tradition unlike any other. The Masters.
I fall asleep while not watching this tournament.
Jim
Can't
Nance,
wait.
is that you?
Hello, friends. Welcome to Augusta National.
I can't get into the Masters.
Really?
Hot take. I'm not a golf guy, though.
I haven't gotten into golf very much the last couple years, but I will still
Yeah.
sit down and watch as much of the Masters as I possibly can.
I feel like golf now, especially with the Live Golf and PGA division, like the division of both leagues, and that all the golfers in both leagues can play at these major tournaments like the Masters, US Open, and all that. I think it just brings more excitement to the sport.
It's not an exciting sport to me.
It's like a Raw versus SmackDown thing for me.
Well, that's the argument for me this year. The Masters is the same weekend as WrestleMania.
Really?
So I'll be watching that instead. Okay. Not a fan.
Yeah, I love the Masters. I try and watch as many of the majors as possible, but the Masters is the one where if I'm free on Sunday, I am watching the Masters
I just don't
from
like,
start to finish.
I just don't like golf. It's not for me.
It's
Alright.
it is.
Despite what Robbie Stanley keeps trying to get me to
Scotty
watch it.
Scheffler's incredible. You got to watch him, man.
Oh, I love Scotty Scheffler.
Even though he's on a downslope this year, he's still going 5 under, 8 under in tournaments.
See, I don't know what any of that means.
And the Masters, you mentioned it with
Under
like
par.
with the Live Golf division, and this is one of the rare tournaments, one of the majors where all of the best golfers in the world actually get to play together. It's great. I'm excited for that. Starts
No,
on
I'm not trying to
Thursday.
shade anyone who loves golf.
No, you're good.
A lot of people love golf.
Yep.
It's just not for me.
I know you're not a big golf guy, but if you get the chance to go to Augusta National, just go.
Yeah, you got to apply
It's
for the
so-
lottery every
so
single year.
You want to know why? You can get pimento cheese sandwich for $2.
Yep.
You can get what?
Beers are like $4 or something
yeah.
like that.
They got some sort of peach ice cream.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
peach sandwich
yeah.
ice cream.
Yeah, I've heard that's
Peach
delicious.
sandwich ice cream.
Peach ice
Yeah.
cream sandwich.
It's like an ice cream cookie sandwich. Not for the real rounds, but,
Right.
they said it was incredible.
You guys
I-
haven't experienced the peak of sports ice cream. I'll
Oh.
take you.
Yeah, that's right. Do
Rupp Arena.
you have an extra scoop for me?
I did.
Good.
I apply for that lottery every single year. Max tickets, everything. Just because if I get in, I know that's one my dad, like it's a bucket list for him is to get to Augusta National. So I hope at some point finally we get the email of
Baseball's
selected.
about as slow paced sports I can get.
It's all right.
And I love baseball. It's just
I'll get you into darts, kid. Don't worry. You'll love darts.
Jim Nance will be back on the call for the Masters. I believe he said 2036 is going to be his last one.
Yeah, let's put that out now, 10 years in advance.
Yeah. But he will not be calling the Final Four, Ian Eagle, with his second Final Four, right?
I love
last year.
Ian Eagle.
He's
Yeah.
great.
I think he's great. I love him and I love Kevin Harlan. I think Kevin Harlan's great.
Those are actually, I think, my two favorites. I do like Joe Davis. I
Mhm.
think he does a great job with baseball.
I don't I like who's the other guy that does basketball? He's on 2K too.
Oh, Brian Anderson.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
good.
I thought
I
you were
like
going to say Tom Breen. Or
Mike Breen.
yes,
Mike
Mike
Breen.
Breen.
Yeah.
I like Mike Breen.
Bang!
He's ESPN though.
Jinx. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I think those two, Harlan and Eagle, are probably my two
are
favorite
probably mine, too.
broadcasters. You know who's really good? And you've heard him last night if you watch any of the women's games, and you'll hear him Sunday for the championship between South Carolina and UConn. Ryan Rucco.
Mm.
Oh, he's good.
He's really good. He's I met him at the SEC tournament. Really nice guy, and he's kind of become the voice of women's basketball. Like calls women's national championship, WNBA finals. He does an awesome job.
One of my favorites is Joe Buck, but not football Joe
Yeah.
Buck.
Baseball.
I
Joe Buck.
love
Yeah.
baseball Joe Buck.
Yeah, Joe Buck. I don't know why ESPN doesn't use him for baseball.
He's
Like,
great.
It's something in his
Carl
contract, I
Ravitch
think.
just isn't.
I don't like Carl
I
Ravitch.
don't mind Carl Ravitch, but
I like
would
John
much rather
Shambi.
hear- Yeah,
He's
Boog,
good.
Boog,
Boog
yeah.
is good.
ground ball, base hit, right field.
Yeah.
You heard that 1,000
Gone!
times. Yeah.
5, 4, 3, double play. Yeah.
He got a hold of that one
Yeah.
way out to right field.
Yeah, Boog's good. Plenty of great play-by-play talent in baseball. But Final Four tonight. Who do we think is going to cut down the nets in the end? I know we're doing our picks in the final segment, but we can kind of spoil it here. Who do we think has the best chance to win the national championship on Monday night in San Antonio?
I'm going to state the obvious, Duke. I mean, that's
Really?
probably the national favorite for me. And some people might say Florida, but I'm on Duke.
I'm
There's something about-
I'm some of those people.
Yeah, are you really?
Yeah.
I love that.
I've been saying it the whole time. I think Florida's the best team in the nation.
man.
When they shoot the way they shoot, and they are going to shoot the way they shoot,
Shoot.
shoot. I mean, they're cutting down the nets. I do think it'll be them and Duke in the national championship, but I think Florida pulls it out.
Okay.
I think
Pause.
the only one that would surprise me is Houston.
Yeah.
I don't know if Houston has 2 wins against Duke and then either Florida or Auburn. The other 3, it wouldn't shock me if they won. Auburn has been the best team all year. Do I think that they're the best team now? No. But it wouldn't shock me if they were able to win both. But I agree. I think it's going to be Florida and Duke. And it's a toss-up at that point to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could go either way. It probably just depends on who gets hot at the right time. But I do think we could end up having a Villanova, North Carolina type championship game on Monday night.
Oh,
If
wouldn't
it's
that be
those
so
two
awesome?
teams where it comes down to the final shot and we get some elite shot making down the stretch, maybe an instant classic in that one.
that
Would
would be
love that.
so awesome.
A nice buzzer beater.
Walter Clayton from deep.
I know. Could we pay off what's kind of been a quote unquote boring NCAA tournament with just one of the best national championship games of
That's
all
the
time?
thing.
That would be great.
People have said this tournament's been boring. I've enjoyed it. I think it's fun.
I've enjoyed it, but there just hasn't been. I can't think of a whole lot of moments that stand out.
I mean,
in
for me,
this
there's a
tournament.
moment.
Yeah.
Like Kentucky made the Sweet 16 for the first time in 6 years.
Right, but like
national
buzzer beaters and big upsets, like
Maryland had that one buzzer beater.
right,
That was
which-
cool.
got the travel
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
5
controversy
steps.
with Derek Queen.
I called him Patrick Queen at first because
It just rolls off the tongue
Yeah.
that way.
that's the Ravens linebacker.
Yeah.
Maryland's now got team hopping Buzz Williams over there.
Thank God.
Yeah.
No more 3-hour SEC games that put my game behind.
Yeah, Buzz just looked. He was like, "Oh man, I've been here for 6 years. Guess it's time to leave."
His whole career is just lateral moves.
Yep,
Like
6 years at Marquette, 5 years at Virginia Tech, 6 at A&M, and in 2031 he will be.
he'll go to
going
the Big
somewhere
12.
else. Yeah, he'll go to Texas Tech because he wants to go back home to Texas.
He's
again.
he's got to complete the Power 5
Yeah,
bucket
he's got to
list.
get through all of them.
Big 12's the only conference he doesn't have now.
Yeah. And I appreciate Buzz for the years he had at Tech. Got Tech to the Sweet 16, one shot away from an Elite 8. But
Now they got Bucky Ball.
yes, Bucky McMillan
Mm-hmm.
from Samford going there. But yeah, this tournament, there just hasn't been the one shining moment yet. I hope we get it coming up
I hope we get it tonight.
this weekend.
I hope we get it tonight. I think Auburn and Florida is going to be fun.
Yeah,
Is that the first game?
that is the first game,
Oh,
which I
yes.
prefer.
I
Because
did too.
if Duke Houston is a blowout at halftime, I'll go to bed.
Yeah.
Which is perfectly fine with me.
What if both games are blowouts?
Like
That's
last night,
yeah.
the women's tournament, neither of those games. Texas hung in there for a little bit, but
The women's championship is going to be fun.
that'll be. UConn,
Gino's last ride, maybe.
who knows? And UConn ended South Carolina's 70-plus game home winning streak earlier this year, beating them by 30 on their home floor.
I love watching Paige Beckers play.
She's great.
She had one pass last night that was unbelievable.
I think maybe a hot take here, and I know others have said this too, but I think if Paige Beckers doesn't get injured as much as she did early in her career, she has more of an impact on women's college basketball than Caitlin Clark.
Whoa.
That is a hot take.
Paige Beckers is that good of a player, but because
I think she's more well-rounded.
she's
than
missed
Caitlin.
she's missed 2 full seasons and just hasn't been able to really
That's
settle
why
in.
I'm kind of pulling for UConn.
Yeah.
After everything she's been through, I love Gio Oriyama. I think he's awesome.
Isn't it funny that UConn has kind of gone from the evil empire dynasty to, man, I'd love to see them get the championship over Dawn Staley in South Carolina.
Like the
Because South Carolina's the evil empire dynasty
It's
now.
it flips like that.
that's crazy.
I think it'll be a good game because I think Dawn Staley's going to have her team ready to go after what UConn did to them in Columbia
they're
2 months ago.
they're pissed off. too.
Right. So I think USC is going to come ready to play, but UConn, when UConn is healthy, that is the most talented team in the country.
Mhm.
You got Beckers, you got AZ Fudd, Sarah Strong. I think wrongfully is named National Freshman of the Year, but that's another tangent.
Wow.
There's a certain player
Yeah,
down on
there's-
West End that
yeah.
probably deserved it a little bit more.
Yeah, I don't think Sarah Strong. She might have not even scored 35 points in the game.
Much less 50.
Much less than 50 twice in
That's
SEC
it.
games on the road. Anyway,
Continuing.
UConn's very talented. I think it's going to be a great game on Sunday afternoon. I think that's as much as I understand the tradition of the men's national championship game being played on Monday night. It's just how it's always been. I love that the women's tournament Sunday afternoon. Everybody can tune in. There's really nothing else in that window. I think that's perfect.
I'll be locked in tomorrow.
I think I will too.
How do we get the men's to do that?
Right.
I mean, not the Final Four or not the national championship, but I mean, 5:30, 5 o'clock tonight. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I
What-
guess that's not that bad. You could play the second game at 5 o'clock.
I don't like them playing on Monday. That's my thing. And
Yeah,
that's across.
That's true.
College football does it too. Just play on Sunday. I think you'll have a bigger audience.
Yeah.
Play it Sunday at like 6 o'clock. People will watch.
Yeah.
I promise you.
You could push everything up a day. Do women's Final Four Thursday night. You'd still get good viewership for that.
Mhm.
Men's Final Four Friday night.
Everyone would watch.
Then women's national championship Saturday evening, like a 3:30 or 4 or 5 o'clock start.
People would watch.
And then men's national championship, like Super Bowl time,
yeah,
5:30 on a Sunday night.
make it a spectacle.
Everybody can be in bed by 9 o'clock if they want to. I think the viewership would be better. I really do. 615-737-1025 is our phone number. Final Four coming up tonight. We're going to make our picks. And for the first time in a while, I feel like we're going to have a wild card here.
All right.
We'll let everybody go off the board a little bit. We'll make our picks. We'll wrap up the show here on 4's Company, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Final segment on this Saturday morning. 4's Company, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. We're broadcasting from the Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership, where the buzz is always about great service. Jake Lyman, Nick Frazier, Connor Newt, Jake Wallman. Going to make some picks here in the final segment. Final four tonight. We'll also get to a wild card, but let's start with the NCAA tournament. First game, 5:09 tip-off on CBS. Florida and Auburn, an SEC rematch. We've kind of spoiled our picks for these, I think.
A little bit.
But
It's all right.
are we all doing the Gator chomp?
Yeah.
I'm going Florida.
Yeah.
Jake Wallman.
I've said it before. I hope the game's end in a tie and the fans burn the stadium down.
It's a little graphic, don't you think?
I know that's not going to happen. I can't pick Florida.
Well, you're going Auburn?
I'm going Auburn.
All
I think Auburn is the better team with Broom on the floor. We saw it last week. They had that big lead when he went out and Michigan State made a comeback. He comes back in. Auburn wins by 6. Give me Auburn.
I think Auburn's good. They may even be the better team, but I think Florida's playing better basketball lately.
I think they have more playmakers.
I'm going to go Florida too. So we're 3-1 on Florida. Is everybody going Duke?
Yep.
The Blue Devils.
I'm on Duke as well.
I don't feel like it's Jake Wallman.
The finger
Not
wag.
so fast, my friend.
Okay, what you got?
We got a lone wolf behind the glass today.
I want to see how Duke matches up with Houston's physicality. I don't think Duke played as near of a physical team as Houston all year. I may be wrong. Probably no.
The
I don't-
ACC wasn't all
It-
that
it was
strong
weak.
this year.
So, and obviously Houston's physicality really affected Tennessee last week. And I think that Houston kind of does what they did to Tennessee, where they just it's a slow squeeze.
All right.
Give me the Cougs.
Wow. So in studio, we're all in on Florida Duke in the national championship. Jake Wallman
Quite the opposite.
going Houston and Auburn. So we'll see.
All right.
I do think both these games are going to be good. I don't think either is going to be a blowout. We said Duke maybe 8 to 10 point win, where Houston's fouling down the stretch, but it's not really all that close. I do think Florida and Auburn's probably going to come down to the final minute. So it should be fun ones tonight. Again, 5:09 the tip off.
Not
Florida and
5:10.
Auburn. Not 5:10. 5:09. Ball better be in the air before 5:10.
Ball up
Or
top.
we're rioting. Wild card picks. Let's go around. I assume we're going to get some baseball in here.
Gotta kind of have to.
Connor, you go ahead. You going Redbirds?
Yeah, for the first time this year, Redbirds playing Boston Red Sox. Nick Frazier's Italian brother-in-arms, Andre Palante, on the mound. I like him. I think he's a good pitcher, actually. Give me the Redbirds to win today, even up the series. And you know what? We talked about him earlier. Give me my brother-in-arms, Lars Nootbaar, to homer today.
Newt. I love it. We're all on the same page today. Yeah, Palante, I think, has a 3.6 ERA. He should do pretty good today against Boston up in Fenway.
Let's see who's on the mound for Boston.
Fitz. I forget his first name. Richard Fitz.
He's
He's a youngster.
Richard Fitz.
So I guess for my wild card, I go Nashville SC. They play today against Charlotte FC. Wilfred Zaha, former European international in England. So he's made his way to MLS this past offseason. And I think Nashville, it's a statement game for them. They have to respond well, especially after Hani Mukhtar missing a penalty kick last home game. They received their first home loss to Cincinnati last weekend. So this is one of those prove-it games. And I think under BJ Callahan, this team has really developed a identity, a young, youthful identity. I'm going to use a word. It's not a real word, but Victor Scott, an outfielder for the Cardinals, described the team as young and hungry. I'm going to go the same route with Nashville. I think this is a youngry team, young
I like
and
that.
hungry. And then interesting name, yeah.
I'd never
So-
heard that before. I'm surprised it took that long for someone to.
He stumbled across it in an interview in, I think, spring training, and it's just latched on.
I love it.
So youngry.
I love it.
Nashville, I think they win today. I'm going to go either 1-0 or 2-1.
And when is that game again?
1:30 today.
1:30.
You can watch that
Okay.
on Apple
So
TV. I
coming up
believe.
in just a little bit. Jake Wallman, what is your wild card today?
Nobody beats the Braves 8 in a row. The Braves don't lose 8 games in a row. I think
as they knocked out Father Ryan last night.
Easy now.
Do
Yeah,
they,
beat
do they
Marlin.
lose 8 out of 9 though?
I don't think so. I think last night was a get right game. I think they're on the right track tonight. Give me the Braves over the Marlins.
Just letting you know for reference, no 0-7 start team has made the playoffs. In
I
MLB.
saw that
So,
yesterday.
Just putting that food for thought out there.
I saw that yesterday. Let's rewrite history.
AJ Smith-Shawver on the mound for the Braves, the young guy against Cal Quantrill. I felt like it was too easy for me to say the Tigers are going to beat the White Sox today, so I'll go the Tigers are going to sweep the White Sox this
There you
weekend.
go.
Reese Olson on the mound today, Jackson Jobe tomorrow. I think the Tigers can win both. Tigers bats, for as many injuries as they've had, they've been hot. Kerry Carpenter, 2 home runs yesterday.
Kerry
Riley
Bonds.
Green hit the third hardest home run ever hit in Comerica Park yesterday, 114.6 off the bat.
Wow.
God.
That's
Torpedo?
incredible.
No, not a torpedo bat. He crushed it. So I think Tigers get it done. Again, the White Sox. The White Sox are not as bad as they were last year,
But
which
they're not good.
again, they were the worst team in MLB history last year. So it's a very low bar, but I think the White Sox are going to be maybe a 60-win team this year.
I saw something the other
20-win
day
improvement. Not bad.
Yeah.
about the White Sox. They had to pull the tarp out. And did you
saw
it.
guys see this? I was going to send it to you. Like half their tarp was gone,
It's horrible.
and they had all these like mound-sized tarps just kind of littered across the infield. I don't even think they had the entire infield covered.
No, they didn't.
It was terrible.
They covered the dirt. They didn't cover the grass.
Yeah, the White Sox are just a very poorly run organization.
Dude, the White Sox Tampa Bay Rays series is going to be electric.
Oh, yeah.
Playing in White Sox,
Playing in a back alley somewhere.
A's, and Rays.
The Rays, it's not necessarily their fault.
Right. Like they had a hurricane.
Yeah.
You can't blame them, but
And they should play it in wherever the A's play. And
Sacramento.
yeah, do all 3 post-game press conferences in that dude's shed they do it in.
Thank you for bringing up the A's, by the way, because I feel like baseball this year, especially in Sacramento, is going to be fun to watch on television. I mean,
it's different for sure.
The ball is going to be
Bombs away.
flying. It's going to be flying for sure. I think they said the Cubs had 35 runs, I believe. Yeah, 35 runs. The whole entire series against the A's, which is kind of nuts.
And if it goes over the fence, is it a home run?
Yes.
This one has a chance.
As
Just
it's
hit
a
off the
no-doubter.
scoreboard.
So, and there are a lot of young guys on the A's as well.
Hey Siri, it's not your night.
As he had a home run previously and then homers again.
Oh,
Lawrence
Siri
Butler.
actually was listening.
Oh, Siri thought it was you.
I'm gonna miss the stories from what was the name of the stadium they played in Oakland?
Oh, the Coliseum.
Yeah, I'm gonna miss the stories from the Coliseum about guys walking across the concourse, going to the bathroom, going to the shower, and you had the possum or the raccoon or whatever it was in the press box.
Their like VIP area was like 2 feet under the actual turf. So like you're watching it and your eyes are the only thing above the ground.
It'll be an interesting spectacle. It was an interesting spectacle, but I don't know. It might be the right move for the A's for sure. The one matchup I am intrigued about baseball today, Phillies versus Dodgers. Obviously, that was a matchup yesterday, but it's Roki Sasaki, the Japanese pitcher.
Sasaki's good.
Along with Aaron
I
Nola.
like him.
He's struggled though.
Yeah, the issue is there's been talks about maybe Tommy John for him because he was throwing in the velocity. Yeah, he was throwing the velocities of 100, 103 in high school.
And now it's
starting to go down. So, and he's not able to command his pitches, which is a big concern.
That was the issue against the Dodgers won the game, but he threw 50 pitches against the Tigers in the first inning last week. Because he couldn't command his fastball, and his splitter is so effective when he can command the fastball. But when the fastball is not going to be a strike, you're not swinging at the splitter.
No, you're not. So I'm intrigued, and they're going to have to really have Shohei Ohtani step up to the plate, pun intended, when it comes to hitting and also pitching.
Going to be a great day of sports. And don't forget, coming up in about 45 minutes, we've got Vanderbilt baseball against Florida looking to take the series against the Gators right here on 102.5 The Game. That'll do it for us. For Nick Frazier, Connor Newt, Jake Wallman, I'm Jake Lyman. Signing off. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. More coming up on Monday here on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game.
See ya.